Hey guys, it's B, or you can call me Maria, or if you know any of my PC names, which are Andraska Venora, Sahara Kiadi, Naviri, Anira, and I think that's it, at least for now. So today is going to be a vlog, but it's actually, well, it's a vlog, but it's actually going to be a little bit more of a tutorial today, which it's so simple, it's really not much of a tutorial at all, I guess, for most of you, but I really wanted to help out those who might not know how to do it, and that is how to create transparent backgrounds or effects. Just for templates, I have another one. This is one I made for Jin right here. And then we have one that I made earlier with like some soft edges. Um, Not earlier, but previously. Well, anyway, so I'm going to start right into it. It's a really simple process. First, what we're going to need is a photo manipulation program. That's probably something like Photoshop. You guys have probably heard of GIMP. It's what I use. It's free. You can go to this website and download it, and it'll look like this when you open it, or give or take something like this. I might have fiddled around with things since uh, downloading it. But then you're going to need an image. And I've chosen this image, and you can go to, Pinterest, DeviantArt. I try to go to somewhere where I'm going to be able to know who the artist is so I can credit the artist if I can. But yeah, so you get an image that you can use. I've chosen this, and then you would save this, right click it, and then save image as, save it to your desktop for the sake of speed, and I don't need any more um, images on my computer, believe me. I'm just going to copy the image and then I'm going to go to GIMP and I'm just going to paste it in there. And then it's going to pop up like this. So you're pretty much good to go at this point. Um, so once you have your image situated, what we're going to do is we have to make sure that when we want to get rid of the background, say I want a clean cut around this cat and I don't want all this black, we want that to be transparent. So when it's laid on a website, you're going to see the website's background behind it and not like a white um, a white background. So first things first, you want to go to layer, then you want to go to transparency because that's what we want, and you want to add alpha channel. I don't know why is it called an alpha channel? I have no idea. Sorry, I'm a little sick. So if I sound gross, that's why. But anyway, so add alpha channel. Mine's actually already selected. Once you do that, so simple. You just do an eraser tool, and I want a clean edge, so I've chosen a hard brush, but I think the default is something like soft. And when you erase, you're gonna see this little checkerboard background, and that is actually what we want. So I want a hard background, and you can actually play around with your brushes. I have a few brushes that I've downloaded that didn't originally come with the program, but you could do something like this, and you can really, well, that's not a really good example. Hold on, make it bigger. You can see how it makes this effect. So you can really play around with it. So I'm just going to get a hard brush and just start erasing. And it is so useful. Um, but there's a few shortcuts you can do to speed this process up. But if you want something that is to your absolute, you know, fine details, um, going in, zooming in, taking your time, and then just trying to get around these fine edges. I mean, that's just kind of what you have to do, or what I have to do. But there are some tricks. I'll show you one really quick. Less of a trick, but I'm just kind of assuming that nobody really knows anything about photo manipulation, but I'm by no means an expert. It's not my job. I just have, this is stuff I've taught myself since I started role playing and wanted to make pretty templates and, um, watching some questionable tutorials on YouTube. But you can also use this fuzzy select tool. And this is a little tool that when you click on something, it's going to kind of select it, as you can see. Um, it's not always the cleanest tool. Sometimes it's really good for really big areas, but sometimes it can really mess up on your image. So use it, sparingly, or use it well, use it when you need to, I guess, but you just select and then push delete. And so it takes out, it takes out some of the work of manually having to go in and erase, but it can mess things up if you're not careful. So, excuse me. So once we have an image and we have it, well, I've messed up. Oh, I know. I have my select on. Select none. I was like, why? Because when you have it selected, you can really only do anything in that area. But select none, and then you can start erasing again. So say I took the time to go all around this image, really make it clean, um, and that's what I actually wanted on my template. Okay. Um, I'm kind of obsessive, so I want to keep doing this, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna stop, or so I say I'll stop. Okay. So we have this image. Say this is what we want. Um, but for the sake of my template, I know that if I have all this extra space, it's going to look wonky. I want it nice and tight for my template image. What I do to get rid of all this extra transparency space, I just want this transparent cat. Well, not transparent cat, cat with a little bit of transparency. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to like go in, select around the cat, make it, the file a little tighter. Just so I know it's going to be centered properly and everything. And I'm just going to use this thing, select it, and then I'm going to do, you can use some shortcut keys for this, which is Control X to cut, Control V to paste, and that's the only two I'm going to use right now. I didn't really want to go into it, but there's a bunch of different ones. And I am just going to edit, paste as, but instead of pasting this, I'm going to paste it as a new image. And see what it does. It got rid of all that, and it's just what I've selected. Close this out. And I'm pretty much ready to save. So what I'm going to do, and this is pretty important, is I'm actually going to do check a few things first. So what I check when I'm working is one, when I erase, if I hadn't done that, cut little trick, I would just go around the edges just to make sure that when I put it in my template, there's not going to be any little black specks. It's just an OCD of mine. Oh man, I feel so bad coughing and like sniffling in this video. I might remake it later. But so I just do that. Then sometimes I like to check to see that I didn't miss any spots, and what's it going to look like on the site color background. So site background color. So I've actually selected the color previously, and what I did, I just printed the screen or screenshotted it, opened it, and then color selected. But that's for the sake of this video and sparing you guys the time. This is the color. It looks a lot like white, but it's actually a little bit of off-white. So we're going to come over here to our layers. We're going to do a new layer right here. That's what this button is. We're going to click it. I always have it on transparency, but you can it'll do whatever. I'm going to do ST background is my name going to be. Okay, so it's actually above it. You can drag and drop these layers to any order you really want and play around with the effects. For the sake of this, I'm going to drop it to the back, which means that this cat, the pasted layer, which is what this cat is going to be on top of this layer. So I can select this layer, make sure it's selected in blue. Oh, don't lock it. And I'm going to bucket fill. I have my color just like in MS Paint, guys. We're just going to drop it. And so you see, let me zoom in a little bit. I didn't have any like black spots or anything. It was like it's a cut that, I like. Then the last thing I check, I'm going to go back to my pasted layer, is sometimes, especially with real life images of models and things, you can tell that this trick kind of makes it look really like you cut it out of a magazine or something, to make it sometimes sit a little bit better on the background. I think I use the blur tool, and I don't use it too crazy. I might lower the opacity. And if you don't know what opacity it is, it's just the intensity at which something kind of is. I'll show you in a second if you guys really need me to, but so I just bring it and I kind of, let me lower the size a little bit. I just kind of go around the edges. That's a really high opacity actually. Shit. Let me get a softer brush maybe. And so you can see it like smudges it a little bit, blurs it a little bit. I play around my opacity. I don't like it too smudged because I think it gives it like a muddy effect, but just a little bit around the edges to kind of soften the pixels a little bit. Um, that's not bad. It softens the pixels a little bit around the edges to make it look less like you just cut it, I guess. Makes it look like it's kind of supposed to be there. This is just a trick I found watching a YouTube video, and I don't always use it, but sometimes I do think it adds a little something something. So once we have that, what we want to do is once we've softened the edges, make sure we have everything cut and clean, which I know this is kind of a bad example, but we're going to, let me zoom out again. I always get rid of this. You don't have to, you can just make sure it's like not visible, which to make an image layer not visible, you would just click this little eye. You could do that with the other layer. And you can really play around with how you want this to look. Say I wanted this, but I wanted to add, I wanted something to come over the thing. Be like, well, wrong thing. Abort. Okay, sorry about that. I meant to have the brush selected. But you can like do 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 do. You can write text, whatever you need. But I guess I'm getting out of the transparency video and going into something else. Um, but okay, so we're ready to save. I don't need this anymore. So what we're gonna do is file. If you try to save it, you're gonna get this little thing, XCF. We don't need that. That's basically I think the GIMP uh image file is what that is. So it saves it with all the layers and stuff. So if you're working on an extensive image and you know you're using it for a more complicated project, this is good because you can come back right to your work and your layers aren't going to be messed up. But we actually need it on one layer and it is and everything. So we're going to go to File, Export As, and I'm saving it to my desktop mostly because I don't need you guys seeing all my crazy ass document names. But I'm going to do AstroCat, and then you see it has .png. You want to make sure it is .png because sometimes you get stuff like this. That's JPEG, which is a different file type, and it will. If I save it like this, actually I could probably show you. What it's going to do is it's going to make this transparency that we worked hard to get completely white. So let me show you really quick. So if I try to open the file, well, it opened it somewhere. Here it is. So this is the file it opened, and see, it's not transparent anymore. So if you save it in that file type, it doesn't support transparency. So that's not what you want to save it as. You want to save it as, go to down here, Export As, and you want to save it as PNG. And I think GIF, depending on if you're a heathen or not, also supports it, but supports transparency. But PNG for sure works. Do it, love it, embrace it, and then you're going to export. I'm actually going to do it .2 just to be safe so I can find it when I upload it. Export. And then you're going to get this screen. You don't have to select anything else. That's if you know what you're doing, and I sure as hell don't know what I'm doing half the time. So I actually don't even touch anything. I export it. And then you're going to go back to the website. Your member gallery is where I always upload stuff. Why bother anywhere else? Personal album. And I actually uploaded this yesterday doing a test for this video. Here it is. It's not the same cut, but you get a general idea. Right click it. Copy image location after you've uploaded it. And then you would go back to your template, something like this, and then insert it. And then that's essentially how you do it. And, I could show you the code, but I'm a terrible coder. And it's mostly bits and pieces I've stolen from other people and that I've tweaked enough to make it my own. But, yeah, never, never, never can I show you that. Because I'm just so bad with coding. But where I would put it if I was editing this, I'll just edit for, I would put it, right here. And like I said, it depends. If you have a scrolling background, this is a really simple one. So see how it comes above the template? This is all coded like this, but if I didn't want it to come above the template, it took me a while to figure this out. Because I'm an idiot and I do a lot of things just messing around with it. But where is it? Margin top. It's only -5. Let's make it negative. And I just play around with numbers. It's like a lot of trial and error. 105. And like, let's push this text down. So see how it brings it down? If you do negative margin top and then pick a number, and you can bring it further down if you make it, a higher pixel number, etc., etc. I would have to recode where I've put that text, but you get a general idea of how to do it. I'm not going to save that, so. But yeah, so that's how you guys make a transparent image. You don't have to do much. It's really simple, and I hope it helps you guys in any kind of, I guess, future templates you make. So I'm gonna actually like go blow my nose and not be disgusting anymore. But thanks for watching. Have a great day. Thanks for writing with me, and I hope to see you guys around. If you have any questions, catch me on Discord, and I'll talk to you later.